Hello and a very warm welcome to Bharata First. You're watching FRP Explains. I'm Rausan Pereira. Since you're here, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon and share the content so that more people get to know about Bharata First. Well, the cheetahs are finally here, and what a momentous occasion for each and every one of us. Efforts have been on for more than a decade to bring the Namibian or the African cheetahs to India. In 2009, under the then Environment Minister Jairam Ramesh, this particular proposal was put in place. But back then, the Supreme Court of India raised some red flags and the project had to be shelved temporarily, and it was rekindled and restarted a couple of years ago, with the cheetahs expected to be brought to India in 2021. But that timeline had to be pushed forward because of the pandemic. Everything around the world has gone out of gear as a result of the pandemic, and so did this project. But the good thing is the cheetahs are finally here, 8 of them from Namibia, 5 female cheetahs and 3 male cheetahs, and in the age group of about 2.5 to 5.5 years. These 8 cheetahs are in Kuno National Park, which is in Madhya Pradesh. Ironically, the last 3 cheetahs are largely believed to have been killed by the Maharaja of that particular region in Madhya Pradesh, in a place called Korea, by the then Maharaja Ramanuj Pratap Singh Deo in 1947. The Indian cheetahs were declared extinct in 1952 by the government. This particular project of bringing the cheetahs to India is something that is not unique, or not for the first time something like this has been planned. In fact, it was planned in 1955 by the Andhra Pradesh government to try and bring some cheetahs to India. That did not fructify, however. And in 1970, we had a similar kind of a proposal and a project planned with Iran to bring the Asiatic cheetahs to India. Unfortunately, even that did not go through because the Shah was deposed and the plan just fell through. We've had agreements in the past, let's not forget, because we've had cheetahs in zoos, in several of the zoos. At least 25 zoos in India have had cheetahs in the past, so we've had some kind of an agreement, but nothing to this scale, where we have actually gone ahead with the project and it is done now. And the hope is to bring more and more cheetahs into India, rehabilitate them in special enclosures first, and then release them in the wild. An expert committee has been looking into this for quite some time now, and trying to analyze and understand where exactly to release these cheetahs, and several places were identified to release these cheetahs, and finally Kuno was agreed upon and decided upon because of its similarity to the savanna grasslands in Africa, and that kind of an atmosphere and environment is best suited in Kuno National Park. The Prime Minister, of course, released these cheetahs and welcomed them to the park, and it was an occasion to mark his birthday as well. The entire country is optimistic about the rehabilitation of these cheetahs into the wild in India, and are hopeful that this project actually becomes a success. I too am very hopeful that this project goes according to plan and we once again see cheetahs here in India. But there is another side of the coin as well, and something that we need to closely look at. In fact, one of the experts that had traveled to Namibia to bring these cheetahs back in a special plane. The plane also looks beautiful. I mean, looked beautiful. It was a lion that brought back these cheetahs to India. But one of the experts that had traveled along the way on this journey also raised a couple of red flags. He was very optimistic about the project, but said that it is going to be very difficult to ensure the success rate of this project because of several challenges that remain. One of the challenges, of course, continues to be man-animal conflict. There is a reason why these cheetahs have gone extinct from India and why we no longer see them here. But bringing them back now is going to be even more challenging, because the number of population has increased, spaces have dwindled, and it's going to be extremely challenging to deal with this issue of man-animal conflict, and cheetahs by and large are not as powerful as the other big cats like leopards and lions and tigers, and tend to be far more shy. Another thing that you need to know about cheetahs is cheetahs don't actually growl or roar like some of the other big cats. They in fact purr, and that also talks of their shy nature and their timidness as a whole. So it's going to be challenging, difficult for the cheetahs to survive that. Not just that, Kuno National Park also has a sizable population of leopards, and in the wild, leopards are known to kill cheetahs and dominate over them. So that continues to be a problem as well. Another issue, habitat and the environment itself. Namibian conditions, the grasslands or the savannas of Africa are very different to the grasslands here in India. So we'll have to see how the cheetahs will be able to adapt to these conditions. Of course, these are just 3 of the issues that I mentioned. There are many more that need to be looked at. Nevertheless, let's be extremely optimistic and hopeful that this particular project works. Now, some environmentalists, some wildlife enthusiasts have also argued whether it is prudent to be spending such a whole amount of money, not just bringing these cheetahs here, but also keeping them safe in a protected environment so that this project is successful. Is it prudent to spend so much of money? That same money could have been spent on other critically endangered species that we have existing already in India and are on the verge of going extinct. We should have probably done more to protect them with that same money and try and ensure that they are not wiped off the face of India. That is another argument that has come through as well. For instance, the vulture is a prime example that everyone is talking about. Of course, several efforts are being made to revive the vulture population in the country, and efforts have been undertaken for a long time now, but the results are not as fruitful as we have expected. So probably more focus on that project would have made better use of this money, is what several people are suggesting as well. We've got a good track record, at least of late, with regards to saving endangered species. For instance, the Save the Tiger project has worked wonderfully well. The Asiatic lions in Gir, their population has gone up. So we've got a good track record so far. So let's hope that we have learned from these projects that we've undertaken in the past and ensure that the cheetah project is a success as well. Little background about why the cheetahs went extinct in India. There were several thousand cheetahs in India once upon a time, but the Mughals enjoyed capturing these cheetahs and using them on hunts. It is said that by Abul Fazl himself that Akbar had up to 9,000 cheetahs at one point in time, and he was very thrilled with the idea of capturing these cheetahs and using them for hunting. It was followed by his son Jahangir as well, using these cheetahs, and the Mughals widely used cheetahs all the time. The number of cheetahs significantly dwindled also because it's very difficult for the cheetahs to breed and make them breed in captivity. So that has been a challenge around the world too. So hence the number of cheetahs within India kept dwindling, kept decreasing. Post that, during the British rule as well, we saw that the Britishers were not very interested in using cheetahs for hunting purposes, but they were interested in big game and actually shooting and hunting the cheetahs themselves, the tigers, elephants, and the bisons and whatnot. So they were looked at as vermins, as irritants, were what the cheetahs were looked at during the British rule, and hence there were several rewards that were given to capture or kill cheetah cubs and adult cheetahs. Our own Maharajas, the Maharajas of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and elsewhere, were very thrilled, and they had a hobby of killing cheetahs. Like I mentioned, the last 3 of which were killed has been widely regarded as being killed by the Maharaja of Madhya Pradesh. So those were the last 3 cheetahs that were killed as well. Those were the last 3 cheetahs in India. So that is a brief history of why the cheetahs have gone extinct. Extremely cruel methods were used to try and domesticate them, use them for hunting purposes, and just kill them as well. Let's hope that all that changes now. We too have become a lot more responsible as far as wildlife protection is concerned. I think as citizens, we are better off today in 2022. So let us all work towards ensuring that this project is a success. Kuno National Park is about 165 kilometers away from Gwalior. So let's wish and hope and pray that Project Cheetah is indeed a success and we overcome some of these challenges that I have just mentioned. Well, before I go, let me just inform you about the newsletter. Our newsletter volume 2 issue 1 Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is out. You can download the newsletter from the Bharata First website, and for those of you who have subscribed for the newsletter, you will receive it in your email today. In case you have not subscribed so far, please do so right now. The details are in the description box below. Talking about the description box or talking about the comment box, let me know what you think about Project Cheetah and where it is headed. Is it a smart and prudent move to have gone ahead with bringing these cheetahs from Namibia to India? Let me hear what you think in the comment section below. I'm eager to hear it, and thank you all for your comments and suggestions for the flooding situation in Bengaluru. The last video I had done on that particular issue. Some very important suggestions, some very important feedback that you have given about how the traffic and the flood situation can be improved within Bengaluru city and within the country as a whole. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share, because that's what you need to do. That's the small expectation that I have from you. That's it from me. See you again next time.